Hi, I'm back from Mobile World Congress and I wanted to give you an update on a couple of the different things that I saw, um, as well as obviously the big trends that we've already talked about. So IoT, connected cars, all the different devices that have come out and been launched, the kind of eye healthcare side of things. One of the things specifically that I wanted to talk about was the retail and commerce side. So I actually went on one of the Mobile World Congress tours that kind of show you what they believe to be some of the key new technologies in certain spaces. It can be a great way to get around what is so much content, so many different stands, and just have a bit of guidance on where some of the big things are that we need to be aware of. So I thought I'd give you an update on what was covered really in the tour and some of the things that Mobile World Congress thought were key to talk about for Mobile World Congress 2017 within retail and commerce. So one of the first things I want to talk about, and I would say was my highlight of the tour, was Urban Airship. So Urban Airship are one of our partners anyway, but removing that completely, we went and had a presentation with them to look at their new offering that they've been working with Apple on around using mobile wallet for loyalty and payments. And I actually found this amazing from a perspective of not needing an app to have loyalty schemes, and it's something that we've spoken to a number of different customers and brands about, is how do you reduce the barriers when people are looking at loyalty schemes. And I think what Urban Airship is doing around that is fantastic. It's not new, but the way that they were talking about it was some of the information I hadn't heard before. So I was really excited by that, and I know quite a lot of the other people around me when they were listening to it were as well. I would definitely recommend checking out Urban Airship and what they're talking about there. Um, the next thing that I talk about is the omnichannel platforms, exactly as you'd expect with retail. So there were a couple of companies that I went and saw, so NTS being one of them, and also Genesis. So both really interesting presentations about omnichannel platforms. So Genesis in particular was talking about their seamless, proactive, personalized approach to customers. And I think this is essential. Like, we talk about omnichannel a lot. We talk about how important it is. We talk about how brands need to think about one individual view, one customer view, whatever you want to call it. And it's clear from the number of different platforms that are coming out and things that are available that the technology is really being established to enable brands to do this in an efficient way. Genesis in particular had a great presentation, not just about that, but also about IoT. They were showing, just kind of a side note, but part of the same presentation, they were showing their sensors on a remote control car. And when the remote control car bashed into something, it was about, okay, how do we then proactively get that to send off a notification to insurance companies? So actually your phone starts ringing and you start the claims process, and they're there to help you on your mobile device. So that's an aside, but I'd again look at Genesis for their IoT white paper, which is really interesting, and the stuff they're doing on IoT, but also their omnichannel platform. One of the next things I talk about is Copsonic. So met with a company called Copsonic, and they were talking about using sound waves as a way to have contactless logins, or for IoT within the homes, for example, or for indoor navigation. So as a competitor, if you like, to Bluetooth or NFC, which I thought was really interesting. It's something that we actually explored ourselves internally. So it's great to see a company established completely on this, and they seem to be doing some really good stuff with it. One of the other companies was a company called Wispy. So sort of Wispy around a live engagement platform, which was really interesting. So this was live video engagement on the homepage of a brand's website. So it's kind of like Facebook Live. So brands could have, in the example, and we'll show kind of photos, and actually there's a small video of it as well that we can show, but the idea is that you have somebody able to go live onto the website, and people can ask them questions, and they were showing things. I think the example was Vodafone using it. So people were showing them how to use devices, how to use things, but actually on video, and lots of different people can come on and ask questions, and it's all kind of demonstrations on video. But also for launching new products. So Audi apparently has been using it to launch their latest car. So that kind of idea of Facebook Live, but for brands on their websites, was something that was being talked about, which I thought was really interesting. Digital mirrors, not new. We've been talking about digital mirrors forever. But HP, I believe it was, had a digital mirror there, and potentially Panasonic. So there were a couple of different digital mirrors. Again, the kind of things that you would expect. So not huge advancements in technology, but something that was at Mobile World Congress as well. And then finally, Mobile Connect. So again, Mobile Connect isn't new, but it was great to see how it was being utilized. So Mobile Connect, if you don't know, is around using your mobile phone number as your login. So we know that usernames and passwords aren't always that secure. People use the same over and over again. So actually using your mobile phone number as a level of authentication is something that Mobile Connect is working on. They're doing some government projects at the moment where you have different authentication levels, but actually the data from your mobile device is going back to the operators and being checked. So they can confirm your address, for example, or your date of birth, or some of the specifics of the data that the operator holds. Actually now using your mobile phone number is becoming a really good way of knowing who you are and identifying yourself. And then the last thing that I was actually going to mention, and I met this woman in particular who has launched this app, which I have to tell you about as well, which is definitely in this space. So it's called Yay, Y-E-A-Y. And her idea behind it is it's kind of like eBay meets Snapchat, and they had a baby. That's exactly how she describes it. And it's about shopping. It's like a shopping channel, but like eBay. So people launch have their own products. Although a lot of brands are getting on board with it now as well, but all done through video. And again, amazing woman, really inspirational, and it's already got quite a lot, like hundreds of thousands of users, and she's done no marketing. So again, I just thought that was, I really enjoyed speaking to her, and it's a great app just to tell you about in terms of the retail space as well. So they're kind of similar things. So much we could talk about. Mobile World Congress is absolutely enormous, and lots going on, but there's some of the key highlights that I saw when it comes to retail and commerce. Thanks very much.